Hey there and welcome back. So today, after asking on last week's video, the results were in, and as you can see, this is what you asked for. Now, as you know from my haul video, I got this while I was on a holiday down south, and this set, the RRP on this set is just over £250. Now, I paid £215 for this set, which I think is absolute fantastic value. However, even at the full RRP on Hornby's website, I still believe that this is a fantastic value for what you're going to get. So we're going to look at prices, we're going to make a rough valuation of everything based off the research what I've been doing. And yeah, I do think this is extremely good value for money. So let's change the camera angle, let's get the box open, and let's see exactly what we get within this set. There we have it. So as you can see, that piece has moved because of, like I said, I have checked this out. And there is everything that you get within this starter pack. So we have, let's start with the less interesting stuff first. So we have a left hand point and a slight curve radius, or a half curve radius should I say. We have two long straights. We have two more straights and a power track. We have a total of 8 curves. Yeah, we have your controller with your power source, and this is obviously just Hornby's standard run-of-the-mill controller. And then you get, it's not super flashy, but you get a buffer stop to go at the end of the little siding that you can make. And then let's get on to the good stuff. So we get 3 coaches. There's your first one, it's kind of like a brake coach at the end. There is your second coach. And then finally, what I do like about this, compared to some packs that they have done where you've only got 2 coaches, you've got 3, so it just makes it that little bit better, a little bit longer. And there is your third coach. Now then, this bit I do like. And normally in track packs, not track pack train sets, what I've seen, the loco is just like, popped in there, and a bit of wrapping, that's about it. But this is actually in a block of ice. And look at the foam around it to help protect the locomotive as well. So this is fantastic. They've really stepped up with this little part. And I do think that is really, really good, because it shows rather than just popping it in the blister pack or the packaging, whatever you like to call it, they're actually caring a bit more about what you're getting within the set. And yes, we will have a look at this in a lot more detail, because I am going to review the train and the coaches like I would, so this will probably be a bit of a long video, but again, hopefully you will enjoy this. So, just being very careful as I pop this to one side. So that is everything that you get with it. Now, I will say, I'll just bring this up. And it does have a reminder there that the track mat, the instructions, is underneath. So, yeah, here we can see I've had it out because I've been working on a bit of a project that you're going to see a little bit soon. So there is your track mat. Obviously, I won't completely unfold this because, as you saw on the box with the size of it, it is quite big, and I just don't have the space to do that at this point in time. And then we have the railer, or the re-railer, and I actually think this is a handy little thing because, if you're not the best with hands, you're brand new to this, and some like, they have a lot of wheels on and things like that you have to mess around with. It is handy just while you get used to things. Or again, you may just need a little bit of help to get them on the track. And you have a couple of little booklets here, again showing your extension packs. And it gives you rough sizes. I'll just try and bring this in a bit closer. And some of the stuff what you can get. And can we get a bit of a close-up on this? You get some numbers as well for what you're looking at or wanting to buy. So this is a cool little thing to give you a bit of an idea as well. Let's just put that to one side. We have the manual for the train. You have your collectors club if that's something that you may wish to join. Apparently you get, I'm not a member as of yet, but apparently you do get some good things and discounts. So I may look at that in the future. For your controller. Now I do find this interesting because it says a Hornby 2022 product range. And this train set's come out this year, which is 2023. So I think they need a bit of an updated version of that to go in with this set. But you do have something there to give you an idea. But what I will say is that if you look at this, it does give you some product codes for things that you may want to look at. And yeah, it is out of date. But you know, it is a little bit of a help. And then we've got a rough owner's manual. And this is basically telling you a rough idea of how to build a layout, how to care for it, how to look after it. A little bit about uncoupling, running a train, bit of general maintenance on your track, how to do a couple of bits. So yes, that's a great way to give someone a bit of a hand who is just getting into the hobby. So yeah, so that is a great little, if it's the right way up, that's a great little addition in this set as well. So now then, of course I'm going to make you wait. I'm not going to show you the train first. That's the best bit. Come on. So let's have a look at these coaches. So as you can see, we've got 3 coaches with 2 of them with different styles of windows, and then this one here is more like your brake coach at the end. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick look at 2 of them, and then we'll have a closer look at one of them in particular. So as you can see, you've got glazing on the windows. This is really, really nicely done. And then on this side, if you do get a close-up on this, it is difficult to show on the camera, but it looks like inside here you have got, if I actually show you, you've got like a corridor inside with the compartments what go off, and that's pretty cool. And then we have, in fact, I've just realised the windows are different on both sides. So if you look, this is for your corridor, and then here is the windows for the actual compartment, and this is really cool. And as you can see, this follows suit with all of the other coaches. Yeah, so that was my mistake before for not putting them down in the right way. So if we do that, there we go, there is every single coach looking the same. So let's pop these 2 over here. I am sorry for all that noise. That's really, really professional, that, isn't it? And let's have a look like we normally would. So let's start from the front. So as you can see, we've got some nice little bits of detail here on the front. Now unfortunately, when you look through here, you can see what looks like the plastic inside. But again, these are very basic. These are railroad type coaches, so these are like the cheaper end. Just, you know, they're designed to be a bit more durable, a bit more robust, and not so much with the detail, but these are great for a starter pack. So you've got plastic buffers on the front, and no, these aren't sprung. You've got actually a really nice paint job done on this. You don't have, you know, tons of livery, etc., but you have your number 1s, which is supposed to represent your first class. You have a coach number, and again with the back. Now one thing, these do have the older D-style couplings, so just to give away that these are railroad, these are the cheaper version. And again, you've got glazing, as you can see from the light on the camera, all the way down these windows, so that is really nice. You've got a little bit more detailing, and you do have some detail on the side here. And let's flip this underneath. Now one thing, and you would expect this from a more modern, you know, set, these do have metal wheels. Looks like they've completely gone away from plastic, which is a lot better. These run a lot more freer, a lot more smoother, and of course it's better, it puts less stress on the train. So we do have some detailing under here, and again it's not the greatest, but you know, it is a little bit of detailing, which is kind of good. You know, we have your plastic bogies, and if you look at these do actually turn quite a lot. And these coaches are, I have looked, a bit shorter than some of the other coaches, so you may find that these will run quite happily with a different locomotive on first radius, which is cool. So you've got all the ranges what you can use. So again, these are just clipping as well by the looks of it, so if something were to happen with these, you could quite easily swap them out. Now the one thing with this is that obviously, as you can see here, you do have that decoupling, which again isn't the best. Now, unlike the NEM couplings where you can clip one in, clip one out if anything happens to them, unfortunately if this breaks, it does mean you're going to have to get a whole new bogie to fit to it. And that is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice to see these with even some form of like a NEM pocket on it, you know, just to help, because obviously if this is designed for somebody who's new, you know, if they get dropped, knocked or banged about and it does break, you know, obviously that person could be really upset that they're not able to use. And yeah, it would have been nice to have something that you could have, you know, repaired a little bit easier rather than having to get a whole new thing. So yeah, unfortunately that's a little bit of a downside, I think, but nevertheless it is a very, very nice looking coach. So yeah, these railroad coaches, nice colour, nice little bit of livery, again not the best. You know, they've got a little bit of detailing on the roof as well, and yeah, they're good, they do exactly what they need to, and it's nice to have a couple extra coaches instead of just one or two. So now let's have a look at the good one. Let's bring the loco in and let's have a proper look at that one. And here we have it. Now I'm super excited for this because I've never had a A4, I've never had a Mallard. I've always wanted a Mallard, and just this colour for me, this is the colour what, you know, it's just nice. I know it's not the traditional, if you will, Mallard colour, but I don't know, there's just something about this blue that I really like. And when I saw this set, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it, because you get coaches and everything to go with this. So let's have a look at this up and close. Now it does say on the instruction manual, and bear with me while I just find it, that it is a railroad model, and there's a reason why I'm pointing this out. So let's get into it, and we'll get to that very, very soon, because a railroad model, as you know, is typically a lot cheaper built, a lot more plasticky, a lot more designed to be robust. But this one, in fact, it does seem a lot better quality than what I've seen and what I've been used to. So anyway, let's have a look at this. So working from the front now, I do have to be careful with this one. So as you can see, we've got a really nice livery attached to the front. The number is separately fitted on a plate. We have a separately fitted whistle, and let me just see, that is cold, that is metal, and that's metal on a railroad model. We have the front here with a blanking plate in. Now, unlike a previous locomotive, what I looked at, this looks like you may be able to put a NEM pocket into this one. So I am going to look into that, because I do think, you know, you should have the option to run these in reverse if you so wish. But yeah, that's something that I will look at a later point. So, working round the side, you've got some amazing detail. Let's just look up in top of that chimney, and you can see there right through. Got a nice little bit of detail just inside there. Now there is one thing that I've noticed with these, and if you look, there is a bit of a hole inside there, if you can see. Now in a loco that I recently got, a little bit of a spoiler, on the inside it says about a smoke generator. So Hornby making smoke generators that you can just plug in and fit yourselves with these new decoders. That is very interesting. So let's get back to the model itself. So we have a wonderful separately fitted plate with the name on. Now that is plastic, but the way it's been finished looks really, really nice. As you can see, this version is the open wheel version. Now me personally, I prefer this version than the one where the skirts drop down lower, but that's just my own preference. You have separately fitted pipes. Now these are plastic, all of them, but you can see they've been fitted really, really nicely. Move down towards the back, and we do have the static rear bogie, if you will, rear coupling, which again is a shame, but no, that's how these are now. We've got a number wonderfully applied there. Get as close as I can. We do have a builder's plate. And then the only thing with this, you can see there's a bit of blue gone on into the back. But again, this is a railroad version. It's not supposed to be as in depth, as in detail. But again, yeah, maybe that could have been done just black. But we do have here, and as we can see, we have a separately fitted foot plate. And if I just go on this, that is plastic, but again, it's still there, and it's a great little addition. So just be careful with the tender. Now this is a huge giveaway to it being railroad. As you can see, there's no detail picked out, but it is separately moulded. It has been, that's a bit better, it has been fitted in there, and obviously there's no Firebox glow to go with this. So if we move round, we see the tender. You do have some separately fitted handles to the front, and with this being black, you can see I'm having a bit more difficulty trying to get this on. We do have some separately fitted parts on the tender. You have your co-load, which is fitted nicely, but you know, it doesn't look quite as realistic as some of them. And then we have your brake rigging already pre-fitted to the side. Got a wonderful logo and lining on here. And we'll move this round to the back. As you can see, we don't have sprung buffers on the tender, but on the front you do have sprung buffers. So it is strange that they are fitted, they're not fully fitted, but again, you know, it is railroad, and to have some of that is, I think, really, really good. Although these aren't sprung, these are metal. And as you can see, you've got your coach, or what's supposed to represent your, between the coach and the tender there, so that is really nice. We've got a wonderful amount of detail on here again. Again, there's not as much picked out, but again, this is a railroad model. And as you can see, just go around the other side. Again, how wonderfully all that has been fitted. There's a lot of detail on this for a railroad model. And what we will do, we will just go up to the roof. Now this is where you can see the quality is a little bit lackluster, because on a non-railroad model you wouldn't necessarily see that line, it wouldn't be as prominent, and it is a little bit on the jagged side too. So unfortunately that is a little bit of a shame, but again, it's not the worst, it's not the end of the world. And we have, let me just do this, yes, we have metal whistles fitted to the back. Do we have a sliding roof? No, we don't have a sliding roof on this, but again, there's a lot of detail on the roof. So let's just set this down, let's move it around very carefully, and let's flip this over, and let's have a look at the underneath. So as you can see, you've got a few little screws there just to get to underneath. Now for a railroad model, as you can see, it does have pickups on every single wheel. And one thing I did notice with this is that this is a little bit sticky. Now I think if you look there, there's a lot of oil on that, so that could be the problem. So I'll probably end up cleaning this off, but we are just going to run it as it is. can see you have the option there to make it into a static model with the others if you have an axle, but obviously it's not provided with this model. Now there is something that I want to see if I can show you guys. Can I get the camera to find it? No. Okay, but I will show you in the manual. So as you can see, you've got your metal drawbar, you've got your electric connection, and if you look at this, for a railroad model, it's got pickups on the tender as well. So that is absolutely incredible. And you have all your decoder and everything fitted into the tender. Now the loco, obviously everything is in there, so it's nice and heavy. The tender is very, very light. But again, you've got pickups on a railroad tender. And then you've got your removable NEM pocket at the back there, which is a great addition. And again, this is railroad. And I've had railroad models before, and they've not had this amount of detail and extras, especially one extra that I will show you, which I think makes this model a bit more worth the price when you consider, you know, the actual value of the set as a whole. So let's just pop that there to one side, and let me get the manual in again, and let's get the right manual in again. Cut that bit out. So so here we have your manual for your, and see, railroad. Yeah. So here we have the manual for the Class A4 for your Mallard. Got everything on normally. Again, it's a shame it is just your little, you know, piece of paper. You know, it could be done a bit better, a bit nicer, but you know, it tells you exactly what you need to know. You can see you've got about your body removal, your lubrication points, and let me get round to this bit. And I have checked this, but I couldn't show you on camera, but look at this. This model has a flywheel. This is a railroad model with a flywheel. That's not something that I've seen before. So let me know in the comments if your railroad models have flywheels in too. And if they have, for me, this is a real like extra bit of quality fitted to a railroad model that I've not normally got before. So that's why I think that this model makes this set especially good to get. And as you can see here, you've got a decoder socket fitted into the loco, and you've got one fitted into the body. Now I'm wondering, with what we saw before, is this extra little decoder one for possibly a steam generator which could fit in this little section here? Because why would you fit a decoder in there and in there? So yeah, that is really interesting. I'm curious to see from Hornby what's going to be coming in the future with regards to that. And as you can see, just a little diagram there fitting your brake rods. And yeah, I am just going to go back to this for a second, because yeah, that I've not seen that before, and that's really interesting. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a closer look at this. You do have an 8-pin socket, but you've already got your speaker connection there. So this looks like it's going to have more than enough room for the new style of decoders. I'm just wondering what this is for. Why would you fit a second decoder into a loco? That's interesting. Right, so there we have everything out of the set. We have the model, we have the coaches. Now, what I'm going to do, because I have done a previous unboxing and I have done a little bit about starter sets, I'm going to pop this onto the layout. And then I've shown, in fact, let me just go back one little second with the detail pack. So all you get is a NEM coupling and your brake rods. So yeah, it is just like a tiny bit extra. So yes, we are going to pop this straight onto the layout. We're going to have a look at the train running. We're going to hook up all the coaches to it. And then we'll have a look at this as it goes on a fully completed layout. You know, give you an idea of something what you could end up with. And then what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to do a bit more of a summary with this, because I'm going to go through the price of everything and why this is such a good set. Okay, so let's take it down there and let's have a look. Okay, so here it is down on the layout. Now obviously, as you can see, we're zoomed in, we've got the light on, and normally it's zoomed out with the light off, but there's a reason why I've done this. And if you look at the wire here, okay, as you can see, that is very, very close to the track. So you have to be careful with this loco that you don't, or with this particular one anyway, that wire doesn't drag and catch on the track. As you can see, it is very, very low down indeed. Now the only thing with this, it may be that this wire has just been done a little bit longer for some reason, but well, yeah, so we just need to make sure that that wire is just moved up and out the way, so it's not going to catch on the track. And as it is there, just with that moving, you know, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, just keep an eye out for them. There was one other little issue that I did notice. Now this may not be the loco, this could just be the track, but these back wheels here, and again this is why I miss the older style moving bogie underneath the cab, is because as these slide over the wheels, or sorry, over the track as it's moving round, it does catch in a couple of points and it just kind of jump the back of the train up. Now again, this could be the track, it may not be the loco, because it only seems to do it in the one point. So yeah, there's just a little bit of a something to bear in mind. So always keep a lookout for these wires, just make sure that they're not dragging on the track, and again just make sure with those wheels, and if I show you, just there is where it does it. Now obviously I'm holding the loco and sliding it, but yeah, just about there. So just be careful as you're checking this out. Just make sure that everything's the way it should be. So with that being said, let's get back to what we're normally looking at. Let's turn the light off, let's see it in its natural lit state. And I think actually in natural light, this looks really good delivery. It doesn't spoil it without, you know, any extra lighting. It does look really, really nice. So let's have a look at the controller. So we're going to turn this up slowly and let's see how this moves. Now let's just zoom in just slightly so we can see those wheels, and let's see how slowly this will set off. Let's gradually turn the controller up. Again, we're still not using the gauge master just yet. And there we have it. It does start quite quick. Let's just turn it slowly again. A little bit more. It is sticking very slightly, isn't it? Let's just try it front again. See if we can turn that down. It is a little bit jerky, but as soon as we turn up a bit more, it does go to really, really nice smooth action. Again, it's slowing down a little bit, but that could be the layout what's causing that, because as soon as it gets past that little point, as we can see there, it's perfectly fine. Now, as we know with this layout, we have first radius. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you that flywheel in action and show that it does actually work on this model. It's incredible. Again, for a railroad model. So let's just move you guys over here, just like this. And let's set this loco back out of the way. And then what I'll do, I'll send it about half speed, and then we'll cut the power straight away, and we can see just the difference that flywheel makes in slowing this loco down. And here it comes. And see that? It didn't just screech to a halt. It kept going for a little second. So, yeah, that flywheel, again, fantastic. And there is one thing with this, it's so lovely and quiet. As you can hear on this HM2000, which is a feedback controller, you know, it's still wonderfully, wonderfully quiet. So what we'll do, let's just put the big hand in and let's pop this over onto first radius. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to react, again with the way that rear bogie is, but let's just see how it goes. So that is on nice and smooth. So let's just back you guys out a little bit, and then we will follow this around, and let's just see if it stays on the track and if it can manage Let's send it backwards. And look at that. That is actually managing. Let's send it right the way over here. Ah, no, there we go. So yeah, it's but I will say one thing, although it's derailed, see how it's still trying to move there? That's just showing that the pickups on the tender are actually working. So I tell you what, I'll just cut the camera, we'll get that off and safely back onto the second track, because obviously I don't want to damage this, and then we'll come back in just a short second. So back on the second radius, feel a bit safe with that, especially coming off. Obviously, you know, don't want to damage the locomotive, but yeah, this is clearly second radius or larger train. It won't work on first, but that's what's advertised on the bottom. I thought this would be so nice to set it off with the other really iconic steam locomotive, which is indeed the Flying Scotsman. And yeah, I just thought this would be, especially being Scotsman's 100th year, these two in my eyes have always been like kind of rivals with each other, and I just thought it would be a nice send off. So we're just going to have the two running today. This little guy over here in the corner is being lazy because he's on his dinner break. Get back to work, you. So while he's on his dinner, we'll send these other two off. Let's send them together at the same time. So I thought this would be a really lovely way to finish off this video with the shot of two, well, in my mind, two of the most iconic British steam locos that have ever been around. So let's just finish off with this. When I said earlier about price, now this set, with everything what you've seen to start off with, on Hornby's website was £250. Now, I bought this, like I mentioned, for £215. And I had a look and I went on Hornby's website and I worked out the price of everything individually. So let me just quickly run through this. So for a Railroad Mallard, not this colour, in the original style colour, is £135. Controller's £20. The railer is £6. The coaches, railroad coaches, are £30 each. I couldn't find these exact ones, but with it under the assumption, and with from what I can see, assuming that these are railroad coaches, they're £30 each, so that's £90 for three. A set of points that you get with the track is 16, and then the actual track itself, the short straights come to £12, the 8 curved radius are coming in at £32, the double straights £3, the power track on its own is £12. Of these prices I have just rounded them either up or down to the nearest, so it's approximately near enough there. The track mat, there wasn't a price for. However, I've seen these online going for around about £10 if people are selling them, so I'll put a price of £10 in there. And then last but not least, the little set of buffers is £3. So the total for all of that is £333. So if you think about it, for everything what you get for in the set, all of this with the set, track, the lot, only comes to £250 on Hornby's website. So without buying it from a retailer and going directly from Hornby, you're roughly saving about £80 straight away. And obviously they've got the point system, so that can go towards other stuff as it is. So for me, this is an absolute fantastic setup. It's a brilliant way into the hobby. You get an absolute wonderful locomotive, and with all the trains, and I'm just going to pick you guys up for a second. So you get an absolutely, I mean, this is on a completed layout, but you get a fantastic looking set there, and look how great that looks against the station, you know, when you've eventually got everything built up and sorted out. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Value for money, I think this is absolutely fantastic. There are a couple of little niggly bits with the locomotive, but you can get that with any locomotive what I've already shown you. So again, a absolutely wonderful, fantastic set, more than worth the money. In my eyes, it's not just a normal Mallard set, it's more of like a limited edition set with the record breaker, with the colour of this loco especially. That's the way that I'm looking at this anyway, especially with the box and everything like that saying record breaker on it and the information. I would say for me it's a bit more of a special set, not just a run-of-the-mill everyday, for argument's sake, Flying Scotsman set, which are kind of pretty standard over the years. So yeah, so let me know what you think of this video. Would you go out and buy one of these sets for yourself if they're still available? And yeah, again, it's a fantastic set. I would highly recommend getting this. I would even highly recommend getting it from Hornby and getting your points. But also don't forget your retailers, because if you can get this for a price like what I did, if you value everything up, you're saving up potentially £100 plus on the set. So a fantastic set, a wonderful way to get into the hobby, a brilliant way to get started, bonus little bit to track. What more could you ask for from a starter set? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. There's probably been a bit of a longer one. And thumbs up, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. And if you watched the whole video, thank you even more. And with that being said, we shall see you in the next video.